Again. Let's see if we're live yet. Okay, we are live. So good morning again. Good morning to everyone who's tuned in around the country on the live stream. Thank you for taking time out of your weekend to come to our head office here at DuePoint. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here, and we're going to be spending the next 55 minutes or so going through who DuePoint is and what we do here. So like I said, we're at the head office. We're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company. They were founded in 1952, so they've been around for a very long time, a lot longer than I've been on planet Earth for. That's their building in the background. They're actually just down the road from us in Randburg. That's the little orange logo. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there, and you'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all these framed certificates on the wall. That lends to all our credibility because those are all our FSP licenses. We've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, our FSP license, and we've also got our accreditation with the Direct Selling and the Direct Marketing Association. So it's very important for our guests here this morning. I hope that you start building some trust in the business we're going to be speaking about. It's very important if we're going to be proposing any business proposal to you, any partnership. It's very important that you trust the business that you're going to be looking at. And so we take credibility here at DuePoint very seriously. We're actually part of another company called Conduit Capital, which is listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. So I hope that's another tick in your book in terms of credibility. This is the executive and the management team here at DuePoint. So when I talk about partnering with a business, what we're actually doing is you're partnering with people, right? You're not partnering with some intangible company. It's the people that you want to know about. And these are the individuals or the leadership. That's Brendan over there. He's our senior executive. He is a registered chartered accountant. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because their family has been involved in insurance his entire life. His father's a professor of insurance, been in insurance for 50 years. His father taught at Wits for 25 years. They have founded many successful businesses locally and abroad. Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. Both are accountants, both got involved in the family business, in insurance businesses, and Stuart and Brendan actually founded Prime Meridian Direct, PMD, which is based just down the road from us. I think they're the fourth biggest short-term insurer already. So we're very lucky to have Brendan directing the business. Tim Reynolds, he's got a lot of experience in corporate banking. He worked at the First Rand Group for a number of years, fairly high position there. He was reporting directly to the board of executives. And here at DuePoint, he heads up all our auditing, our regulatory, and our financial aspects of our business. Stacey supports him in that. They're both also registered chartered accountants. And Stacey's got a lot of experience in auditing. She's worked at Deloitte locally as well as overseas. She's come back to South Africa, and when she came back, we convinced her to come join us here at DuePoint. And then the two non-accountants, we've got Jane over here. Everyone's here this morning, so you'll see all of us here. Jane has got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, right? And this is fundamental to our business because as an insurance company, this is how we drive our marketing, our growth in the business is through direct marketing and direct sales. So Jane brings all that experience with her. She's from York in England, or Yorkshire. So if you speak to her, she doesn't have a lisp or anything. She's got an English accent, British accent. And then myself, I've worked primarily for my entire working career pretty much in marketing and advertising. I tried to do a stint in engineering at Wits, but it was just way too much work. So I got back into the workplace as a designer. So that as a trade, I'm a creative director, a designer. But I started my own digital agency in the mid-90s. Ran that for almost 20 years and exited that business a couple of years ago to join this team here at DuePoint. Our mandate here as a team is to support you guys, to support our wealth engineers. As a business, we can only be successful, we can only be profitable if the people partnering with us are effective and profitable themselves. So we have this great common ground, which is so important for partnership, is that we have this common mandate, this common ground, this collaboration where we both want to be effective, right? It kind of flies in the face of employment where the person sitting next to you is in competition with you because there's so few jobs in the job market at the moment, right? So this is the team. We certainly don't hide away. We get very much involved with the people that join this business, and you'll come to understand that and appreciate that when you join this business. So why are you here this morning? That's a fairly nice day. The weather started warming up yesterday. Why are you here? I assume the person that invited you here this morning alluded to some financial opportunity. They might have been fairly brazen and said to you, do you want to make more money? Right? So it's this financial opportunity that was offered to you. I know there's one or two gogos that say, come, I'm going to take you for free tea and coffee. And then they get you here and then they throw a presentation in without you knowing about it. Maybe that works for them, I don't know. But it's the financial opportunity, right? You have the sudden entrepreneurial interest. Did you think you were going to be an entrepreneur when you got out of school? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But suddenly you're interested in it, and you find yourself here this morning instead of sitting at home under the duvet still shouting for your spouse to bring you some hot chocolate or coffee. Right? We're here nice and early. And I appreciate your time. But I like to look at the behavior that kind of drives this interest. And there's a couple of things we look at. Unfortunately, they're all fairly negative, right? So the one thing we look at is the economy. Anyone happy with the economy currently? Right? We're all begging for an 8% increase once a year just to keep up with inflation. Interest rates are going up. Food inflation is sitting at 11%. Food is doubling in price every 8 years. How frightening is that? Doubling in price every 8 years. Is your salary doubling in price every 8 years? Probably not, right? Got interest rates rising. What happens when interest rates rise? Our debt becomes more expensive. Okay? And that's the other aspect we talk about is debt. Because debt actually becomes crippling to us. We get so many statistics from the Financial Services Board that kind of paints this picture of what personal finance looks like for the average South African. And again, it's pretty bleak statistics that we get, right? I promise you, there's nothing good about the statistics we get in terms of people's personal finance circumstances. And it's exacerbated by the economy, and it's certainly exacerbated by debt. And debt's not forced upon us. You know, you get offered debt the moment you get a salary, so that think back to your first paycheck. Can you think that far back? Think far back. Your first paycheck, how small it was. You know, your employer probably wanted to put it into a bank account. And when you start getting a salary, you become a wonderful client to a lot of companies because they look at you and they say, well, this person's earning a salary. I can kind of bet that this person's going to get a salary every month. I can debit them every month for a service. So we get offered a host of services, particularly within the financial sector. You get offered debt instruments and investments and savings. Unfortunately, the majority of South Africans, we engage mostly with debt and very little with investment and savings, okay? And it takes on all kinds of forms. We've got credit cards, home loans, personal loans, car loans, educational loans, microloans. Microloans, whew, gives me the shivers when I think about microloans. The interest rates on microloans. I don't even know how those businesses are legal. But anyway, so we engage in all these debt instruments, right? But what happens is when we find ourselves in the economy that we find ourselves in, we suddenly get into a position that we struggle to get out of, right? We really struggle to get out of it. I see it as the cycle that we're suddenly in. And you'll notice it in your own life. You'll notice that there's some particular cycle that you find yourself in, and it'll happen monthly and then annually, right? You get your paycheck, and what happens when you get your paycheck? All the debit orders come off, right? Those banks are quick to debit. All those services that you have, the loans, the debt that you have, all that gets debited, and then you've got the rest of your income left for the cost of living. But we know the cost of living is increasing, right? I said to you, the food inflation is sitting at 11%. Fuel is causing transport to be very expensive. We've got a rising cost in education as well. Education is becoming great business for some companies because the job market is getting so competitive. Now parents are like paranoid. I have to send my kid to the best school possible. You know, education's the only solution to all of this. And suddenly the job market becomes so competitive that education becomes a very wonderful business to suddenly invest in because parents are prepared to spend thousands to send their kids. I mean, my daughter is 4 years old. We started sending her to a creche at 2 years old. The creche was more expensive than Wits, first year BSc. I said to my wife, this is crazy. I said, we're skipping creche. Skip primary school, skip high school. 3-year-old straight into BSc at Wits. She's got 20 years to try to figure out what engineering is all about, right? Isn't it crazy that tertiary education can be cheaper than sending your kid to a private creche? And this is the situation that we find ourselves in. And then to make matters even worse, and to give us more stress, there's this thing that starts creeping up on us. Do you know what it is? The data on the slide alludes to it. That's called retirement. Retirement is the same as retrenchment, right? You think, oh, retirement, oh, my retirement's going to look so good. It's the same as retrenchment. You don't get a paycheck at the end of the month when you're retrenched or when you're retired or if you're unemployed. And when you start becoming more accountable in your life, you start becoming more aware of the demands of retirement that it places on you. But like I said, South Africans just engage in debt for most of their lives. Do you know that the average South African only starts looking at investment and savings products when they're in their 50s? In their 50s. Okay, so let's take a look at this data. This was published on the Fin24 website late last year. And we've got 3 columns at the top here, headed with a little figure at the top of each. So the whole idea around retirement planning is that you save and invest a certain amount of money that will put you in a position so that when you become retired, so when you're not getting a paycheck, your investment, your savings will now pay out a figure based on that cash investment that you've made, right? So if you want to derive an income of about 5,000 Rand a month when you're retired, you need to have saved R1 million by that point. R1 million is only going to give you 5,000 Rand a month. Anyone survive on 5,000 Rand a month? Do you know the average family of 4 to get good nutrition, dietary nutrition, needs to be spending about 7,000 Rand a month just on food? What are you going to do when you get to retirement and you've saved R1 million? Can I tell you that not even many people get to that point where they've even saved close to R1 million, right? If you're under the age of 25, you can start engaging in responsible retirement planning because you've got time on your side, right? So if you put 800 Rand a month away for the next 40 years, you will have saved R1 million. And this R1 million only lasts you 30 years, by the way. So if you retire at 60, at 90, that money runs out. That's the scary thing too, right? You're not sure when you're going to die. I can't live past 90. I'm going to die of starvation. So that's certainly not a dignified retirement. So we look at the second column. The second column looks a lot better. 26,000 Rand a month, right? Now you can look forward to retirement. But you have to save 4,000 Rand a month for 40 years, okay? And to be in that position, like I said, if you're under the age of 25, you've got time on your side, you can start engaging in responsible retirement planning. But that 4,000 Rand a month means, or at least has to increase in line with inflation. So it'll start out at 4,000 Rand, but it has to increase by 7-8% every year so that you're in line with inflation. These figures are scary. They're scary. Do you know that only 2% of the population gets to retirement financially independent? 2%. So there's about 130 people, 140 people in the room. That's maybe 2 or 3 people in this entire room that are going to get to retirement financially independent. The rest of us, what are we going to do? What do you do when you get to retirement and you're financially dependent? Dependent on who? Your kids, right? Can you see how the financial burden jumps generations? It just goes from one generation to the next. We get to retirement, I can't afford to get by, I depend on my kids. My kids must help me. And now you become a financial burden to your kids. And we have the cycle again, right? It's a generational cycle. We've got the monthly cycle of just trying to get by every month. We've got the annual cycle of earning enough, being able to take a holiday, visit family, go all over the country in December. We all suffer in January, and then we spend the rest of the year trying to catch up again, begging for a 7-8% increase, just so that our salaries can stay in line with inflation. If you haven't got a 7-8% increase in the last 5 years, do you know that your salary is devaluing all the time? You're going to find yourself in a cycle that gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. 50% of South Africans that have got debt, which is pretty much all of us, 50% of them are under debt review. Debt review means you haven't paid your debt for 3 months or longer. 50% of us. That tells you half the population is not able to get by month to month. So this is all the negativity. right? I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to give you a realistic outlook of what personal finances looks like for a lot of us. If you haven't considered retirement, you need to start looking at this properly, right? You don't want to be one of the 98% that get there, because when you get there, it's too late. There's not much you can do about it. So out of this, DuePoint as a division, as a business, we saw the opportunity to create a system that allows the average South African to break out of this cycle, to break out of it. Employment is not going to do it for you. You think your 8% increase is going to change your financial situation? Or are you clinging on the hope that you're going to get the promotion where they double your salary? Or, I don't know. What other options are there in employment, right? So as a business, the people that join our business, that decide to partner with us, we've got 3 aspirations for them. And 3 goals, which really become this common thread that runs throughout our business. Number 1 is to see you become debt-free. Completely debt-free. That's the vision we have for you. You get your salary, no debit orders go off. You get to dictate what you want to spend your money on every month, because you've paid off your car, you've paid off your house, you've paid for the kids' education a year up front. You don't have personal loans and educational loans and credit cards. That's empowerment. That's true empowerment. Financial empowerment is true empowerment. That's what we all fight for. The second aspiration is to see our wealth engineers start engaging in a true investment. A true investment. We sometimes make the mistake thinking that owning a house is a true investment. It isn't really. You're living in your investment. It's only an investment if you're able to rent a room out, or the whole house, or you sell it and move it into a caravan and you rent the house out. Then it's an investment. And the third aspiration is to see everybody happier. Happy at the end of the month, not sad. Because if you meet the first 2 goals, becoming debt-free and creating value in an investment that you can depend on later down the line, long term, I promise you're going to be smiling at the end of the month. When you dictate what you're doing with your money, you're going to be one of those 2% that are happy. Good retirement. And this is what we want for our wealth engineers. Okay. So how does this work? Well, our guests here this morning, you got the opportunity to join DuePoint. And when you join us, what you do is you actually contract with us. We call you wealth engineers, a very appropriate term, I think. And as wealth engineers, we only expect you to do one thing. That's to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what one of those look like. And through these channels of distribution, DuePoint will attempt to place product with the people that you introduce to us. Okay, and that's basically how this entire business works. As simple as that. Simple as that. The benefit for you is that you get to create an additional income stream for yourself. That's obvious, right? That's why we're sitting here this morning. I'm here for the additional income stream. This is the only way you're going to pay your debt off any quicker than you currently are. Don't be happy with the terms on your debt. You know, that's one of the nastiest things about credit cards is they don't really have like a term to them. They don't say, oh no, you've got to pay all your credit card debt off in the next year or 6 months or 3 months. They roll it. They roll it and roll it and roll it and roll it till you're dead. That's a scary thing. The 20-year term they offer you on the bond. Don't be happy with 20-year term. Pay the house off in half the time, in a quarter of the time. You can only do this through an additional income stream. The system's not designed to replace your income or your job. It's there to supplement it. The nature of our business allows you to create recurring income. Now, this is one of the most awesome benefits of insurance. Insurance businesses create recurring income. What is that? It means that you're able to build an asset that doesn't pay you once off, right? So most of us are employed. Most of us are employed in some form of service-based or production-based industry. Like me, I ran a business that was service-based for 20 years. We didn't create any recurring income. At the end of every month, I would start at 0. I'd start at 0. If I didn't do the work through June and invoice it, I earned nothing. What happens if all my staff went on leave in December? Did I produce any income in December? No, we didn't. I spent the entire year for 20 years trying to produce enough income in the other months so that I could get through December and January, because I only made money when I was producing work. The insurance industry allows you to build an asset that will pay you every month. So if you build an asset in June, June's asset will pay you in July, August, September, October. You can get to a point in this business, 5 years down the line maybe, where you can take 3 to 6 months leave. Go overseas, do what you want, disappear, and you'll get paid every single month. That is what we call recurring income. My father alluded to it when I was very small. He said, find a business that pays you when you're sleeping. I had no idea what he was talking about. 20 years later, I realized the frustration of not being able to create recurring income in my business led me to leaving. 20 years I invested of the best years of my life. You're getting the end bit of it, right? It's still good. But 20 years I invested into this business. I couldn't create any value out of it. Okay? You get to do this. You get to do this. The power duplication. We allow you to harness the power duplication. Power duplication is leverage. We all have limited time. You want to leverage your limited time. You've only got 8 hours in a day, right? For your boss, maybe you only have 1 hour a day for DuePoint. I allow you to leverage that 1 hour. Those channels of distribution that you're building, you're actually building teams that collaborate with you. So you go out and you build a team with 10 people, each contributing an hour a day into the business. Those hours get contributed to your recurring income. Now suddenly you've got 11 hours being invested into your asset that pays you a greater recurring income. Those two benefits are probably the best benefits of this business. If you can find another business that has those two benefits, it's a great business to look at. It is. This is a flexi time opportunity. Now this is a double-edged sword because you might be thinking, flexi time, oh, I can do this business in my spare time. How many of us have got spare time? I don't have spare time, right? It's a business that requires commitment to routine. Anyone can join this business. It is the easiest thing to join this business. It takes you about 7 minutes, you'll become a wealth engineer. But it doesn't mean anything. To be successful in this business is what you want. And to be successful in this business, you've got to decide how this business is going to fit into your daily routine or your weekly routine. Because if you don't decide that, it's going to be one of those New Year's resolutions where you go to gym when you feel like it, when you diet when you feel like it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So by the end of this presentation, there's going to be a big orange slide that comes up and it's going to say decision time. The decision is not, do I think DuePoint is good or not? Am I interested? No. The people that are interested, the decision for you is, how does this business fit into my schedule? How am I going to make it a routine in my life? Something that becomes part of my life. Because this business is certainly something that impresses upon you very long-term commitment and goals. But I promise you, it's well worth it if you make a success out of it. So I don't want to just see people joining and not doing anything. I want to see you join, make it routine, become successful. There's no startup capital. There's no registration fees in this business. There's no box of product that you have to go home with today. It's a very low-risk endeavor, right? Very low risk. Nothing is risk-free. In the insurance industry, the more reward, typically the more risk there is, right? We all understand that, okay? But we make this business as low risk as possible for you to engage with. There's no qualifications or experience required. This is financial services. FSB has got books of regulation we have to comply with. We actually contract you out of all that obligation, so you don't have to worry about it, okay? You get to build an asset. Now, why is this important? Because if I propose to you that to make this business work for you, I want your spare time, as well as time that you have to sacrifice. Well, what time are you going to sacrifice? Time with your family, time watching Generations, time watching sport, time on the weekends. At least know that the channel of distribution that you're building is treated as a legal asset that you have ownership over. It's completely opposite to employment, where we will spend our lives 40, 45 years working for someone else where we've got no shareholding, no dividend check every quarter, no interest in the business, no control over the business, but we'll spend our lives there to look forward to a retirement that we can't afford. You have ownership over this. You can move it into a family trust. You can sell it. You can give it to your kids when you get too old. If you die, you can cede it to your beneficiaries, right? You have options over this asset that you've built. There's no selling involved in this business. I don't hear any hoorays. Right? You all got invited here. And your first question was, what are we selling? What's the products? What's the products? What's the products? There's a vitamins. Vitamins. I've done vitamins already. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. There's no selling. We actually contract you out of selling entirely. So you should be ecstatic about that. Right? Most of us aren't good at selling. You don't want to sell. I was a terrible salesman. I had a sales job for a very short time. Very bad at it. Even got fired as a waiter once. Got other skills though. So there's no selling involved. Like I said, there's no product that you have to buy, no boxes of it. Our products are intangible. They're financial products. Why is that a good thing? Because you don't have to bring your uncle's bakkie to come load up all the vitamins that we want you to go sell. They don't expire. You want to see a good salesman when he realizes that all the boxes of vitamins he bought last week are expiring next week. Then you're going to see him sell that weekend, right? Don't have to worry about any of that. We make this business as simple and as convenient to get involved with as possible. And this is all predicated through you going out and building what we call these channels of distribution. So what does a channel of distribution look like? It begins with you, obviously. You become a wealth engineer. And the one thing you're going to go do is go out and tell people about the business opportunity, not about the products. You don't sell. You're telling people about the business opportunity. And when you're successful in that, and you get a couple of friends or acquaintances or colleagues to join DuePoint and take out a product, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And those people that you introduced are going to do exactly the same thing, right? This is what we call referral marketing. Oh, this is a wonderful restaurant. You should go try it out. And your friend goes to try it out. And your friend goes to their friend and said, that was an awesome restaurant. You should go try it out. Facebook. Facebook is based on referral marketing. Your friends list, your friends' friends list. Whenever any advertising happens on Facebook, it's all through that network that you've created through your friends lists, right? Referral marketing is not a new thing. It's been around for hundreds of years. And this is what you're using. You're telling people about the business opportunity, and they're going to tell people about the business opportunity. And this is what your channel of distribution can look like after a certain amount of time, with the possibility of growing every day, every month. Your channel can get bigger and bigger and bigger. This is what your asset looks like. You're getting paid for every single product in your channel on a recurring basis, right? Because this is the power of duplication. This is leverage. How much time did it take to introduce 5 people to DuePoint? That onerous? No. We had testimony from one of the ladies in Durban who joined the business in October. She said, I put in 5 people, and then at the end of the month there was 400. And she was gobsmacked. She was worried like she didn't get the business. I don't know how this business is working, but there's 400 people, right? That's the power of duplication. That's referral marketing happening with just a little bit of effort on your side. Okay, so this is what channel distribution looks like. This is my disclaimer slide. This is my warning slide. So I'm going to warn you now. To be successful in this business is not easy. It isn't. Nothing is easy. Any sphere of your life to be successful at requires a lot of commitment, persistence. There's often frustration linked to everything, right? But there's a lot of these get-rich-quick schemes floating around South Africa where they say, oh no, this is easy, this business. This business is easy. Listen to the Russian man on YouTube, and then you just put all your money here, and then in 2 weeks we'll double it. And you go, that sounds easy. Let's do it. And then you arrive here crying, I lost so much money. I'm like, what did you expect? Anyone that tells you that something is easy, to be successful at something is easy, they're lying to you. Any of your friends say, get married, marriage is easy. Marriage is easy. They're lying to you. Come to gym, we'll lose weight together. It's going to be easy. They're lying to you. Right? I'm not going to lie to you in this business. I've started my own business and other businesses. Some have been successful, some have failed. Brendan, same thing. He's also engaged in businesses that have failed. 95% of new businesses fail on average in the first 12 months. 95% Fortunately, you've got an opportunity here to team with people that are extremely experienced, that have done this before, that have been successful at it, and that show a platform where other wealth engineers are being successful at it. Okay? You'll be excused for coming here thinking, oh, this business is another one of those schemes. Why are you inviting me to one of those scheme presentations again? I'll excuse you for that once. You've already heard at the beginning of the presentation, we take credibility very seriously. We're a listed company. We're regulated by the FSB. We do not smell anything like a get-rich-quick scheme. You have to commit long-term to this business if you want it to be successful. Don't come here with expectations 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, crying it doesn't work. I want to see commitment 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? It becomes very important for you to focus in the long term. So you need to have a big enough why. Why am I doing this business every Saturday in my spare time? Because I want to be financially free when I'm retired. Because I don't want to depend on employment in an economy that's failing. That's the why that you need to have. That's going to drag you through this, okay? And we'll support you along the way. So how do we pay our wealth engineers? We pay our wealth engineers, like I said, based on the products that you have in your channel, okay? So we pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel. So remember the first 5 individuals you introduced to DuePoint that took out a product? We're going to pay you R55 for every single person. Because on your first point, we pay you double the R27.50. And your friends are going to go out and speak to other people. And when they're successful in that, the people on your second point, that's your second point, we pay you double the R27.50 again. You're earning R55 for every product. Remember, recurring income every month going forward. Every month going forward. You are building this asset, building it. You want to make it bigger. To the third point, to the fourth point, all the way down to the 8th point. But then you'll notice the multiplier starts to drop. So by the 8th point, you're earning R1.10 for every product in your channel, but we don't limit you there. This is important to note. We don't limit you on how big your channel can become. From your 8th point into infinity, in theory, we will keep paying you that 4%. So there's no limit on how large your channel can get at DuePoint, and there's no limit on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. The accountability lies with you. Are you doing this short term, or are you doing this long term? Do you give up after 3 months, or you just don't give up? This is the mechanics of the returns, right? The next natural question you get is, well, how much money can I earn after a certain amount of time? So if I'm in this business for 3 months, or 6 months, or you talk long term, 5 years, what can I earn? So the accountants built this thing called the path to success, and it kind of illustrates what you can expect after a certain amount of time. But it's based on a certain growth model, a growth formula. It says to you, right, you join at the beginning of June. We hope you can bring 3 people into the business successfully. And then every consecutive month, July, August, September, you only bring in 2 new people every month after that. We call it the 3+2 growth model, because you're putting 3 in the first month and 2 every consecutive month going forward into perpetuity. You'll keep doing that. If you can do that, these are the numbers you can expect. So after 6 months, you can get to R2,500 a month. How does that sound? I've got blank faces looking at me. 2,500. We're talking about real money here, right? 2,500 rand after 6 months of work? If you said that to me when I was still working in a business that created no recurring income, I would have said to you, buddy, my time is way more valuable than that. But this is recurring income. But I want to give you a shift in your perspective, because on one of the earlier slides, we described that a debt is crippling to our financial circumstances, right? And our first goal for our wealth engineers is to see you become debt-free as quickly as possible. So look here. We've got an example of someone with R1 million debt. R1 million, that's a lot of money to owe someone. R1 million debt, right? Through a home loan. This is a very acceptable form of loan instrument that lots of South Africans engage in. So the guy found a nice house, or the lady found a nice house for R1 million, went to the bank and said, I don't have the money, but I earn a salary. Can I please have the money? And the bank said, great, your salary looks good enough. Your credit history looks good enough. Here's R1 million to go buy the house. You're going to pay me back for the next 20 years, 11 to 11,500 rand a month on the current interest rate, right? We all appreciate how the bond works, how debt works. You join DuePoint, 6 months later with some success, you're earning 2,500 rand. Instead of spending that on handbags and shoes and nice lunches and feeling like you're a champion, you aim to pay your debt off faster. So you take that 2,500 rand and you put it into your bond. What are the effects? What are the effects of little 2,500 rand that I wasn't quite sure whether that's even a lot of money or not a lot of money? It's going to reduce the term on your bond from 20 years to 11 and a half years. You've nearly halved the term on your bond. What does that mean? That means if you're 35 and you've got this bond and you join DuePoint and you put 2,500 rand into it, you're going to pay the bond off when you're 46 years old, not 55 years old. You've nearly halved the term of the bond. How much money does this save you in the long term? Because now you've paid off the bond in 11 years. There's 9 years that you haven't had to pay 11,000 rand a month to the bank. That little 2,500 rand has saved you 1 million rand in repayments. Let that sink in, because I don't think it's sinking in. On 1 million rand house, 2,500 rand has saved you 1 million rand in repayments. Do you get an idea of how much money you're paying the bank back? That house has cost you, if you pay it over a full term of 20 years, the house has cost you 2.5 times the value of the asset. Guys, this is what empowerment's all about. It requires a decision today. 6 months doesn't jump ahead suddenly magically, right? After 12 months, you're earning in excess of 100,000 rand annually in recurring income. Anyone get a 100,000 rand bonus because they worked so hard last year? Sure. I'm seeing faces of disgust. You keep going. After 24 months, nearly 30,000 rand a month. Think about that, 30,000 rand a month. Now we're talking about significant income. After 36 months, you're nearly 50,000 rand a month. You want to look at the bond example? There's an example of a 5 million rand bond, because now you're a high flyer. At DuePoint, you're probably earning at the 30-month mark close to 36,000, 37,000 rand. You can put that as an additional payment into your 5 million rand bond. You will drop the term of the bond from 20 years to less than 7. I like this example. So all the wealth engineers that are in here, they've heard me quote this example all the time, because I'm 40 years old. I haven't paid my house off. I'm nowhere near paying my house off. But in 30 months' time, if I'm successful at DuePoint and I'm suddenly earning this additional income that I can put into my bond, I'll pay the 5 million rand house off by the age of 47. And then I'll go buy another one. And I'll pay that off at the age of 54. And then I'll go buy a third one. And I'll pay that off by the age of 61. Now when Brendan's tired of me and he forces me on early retirement, I've got 3 houses to the value of 5 million rand. I'm renting out the other 2 houses for 60,000, 70,000 rand a month. Does my retirement look a little better than just depending on my employer to give me an 8%, please, just 8% every year, just so that I can keep up with the cost of groceries and education and travel? This is what empowerment's about. This is the choice. After 48 months, you're probably close on 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, you're creating about 1 million rand in recurring income annually for yourself. This is all academic. This is just an example, right? At what stage of this path to success can you tell your boss what you really think about him or her? Huh? You walk into that office. Do you know what I really think about you? Do we have the option to do it today? You don't have that option today. Please don't retrench me. Please don't retrench me. I'll go study more. I'll do this. I'll do that. Please don't retrench me. That's the position we find ourselves in. Like I said, this is only academic. This is based on 3 plus 2. Remember? 3 plus 2, 3 in June. You're going to put 2 in every consecutive month thereafter. But like I said, it's just an example. Got lots of wealth engineers. They get excited. Woo, DuePoint. They join 0 plus 0, plus 0, plus 0, plus 0. But you can do more than 3 plus 2. You don't have to do 3 plus 2. You can do more. We've got lots of wealth engineers doing more than 3 plus 2. Mike and Vilna, they're here this morning. We've had training this morning. They doubled their income every 4 months. Look at the figures. 4 months apart. Their income increased by 100% every 4 months. Please go ask your boss for a 100% increase. Stop messing around, 8%. You say you want a 100% increase. What's your boss going to say to you? Say, get out my office. I'll call security if you come in again asking for a 100% increase. Who do you think you are? The owner. We've got Lydia. She joined, you can see when she joined, 20th of October. Fairly slow start. Not a bad start, but compared to the rest of her growth, by December, 385 Rand a month that she created for herself. Then in the next 3 months, she jumped to 5,500 Rand a month. Think back to the retirement slide. How much money did you have to have sitting in an investment that would pay you out 5,000 Rand a month? 1 million Rand. Lydia has created for herself, in the space of 6 months, she created for herself 1 million Rand cash sitting in the bank. That's the equivalent. We have to start thinking about money differently. And it's doubled to May. And the May figure is higher than that. We pulled the May figure at the beginning of May. It's more than that at the moment. Rulof, he joined us right at the beginning when we launched the division. He started out fairly well. He had a fairly good year, but he was running 2 other businesses in the background. He said he didn't have time for DuePoint. And he was a little skeptical, to be honest, about DuePoint. He thought, oh, these flashy oaks on the stage. We're not going to do anything, he said to his wife. Let's see what these guys do. And we proved to him in the last year that we stick to everything that we say in this business, right? I told you, we take credibility very seriously. He sold his 2 businesses, and now he's getting involved. On the 1st of January, he started getting stuck in. He's already got 1,400 products in his channel of distribution. And he's growing. You're going to see that number shoot up. He sat in a seat just like you. We asked him to take a step of faith, to trust us as a business, and start investing time into this business. And he did that. And it's the same opportunity that every single person in this room has. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every single month. Hundreds that have created an additional income stream for themselves, that have taken the step of faith, that are deciding, right, I'm tired of the employment market. I'm tired of it, the workplace. It doesn't promise me anything. What hope do you cling on in employment? You're just there to live, right? But like I said, the accountability lies with you. So that's the returns. That's what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month. Over and above that, we've got a rewards program. Now, the rewards program is completely separate to returns. I'm going to go through the rewards program now. But before we start, I want to tell everyone that our Saturdays are getting crazy, right? You saw how we had to shuffle people, ask wealth engineers to leave. So we've decided we're going to start de-incentivizing Saturday mornings because we've got a live stream that caters to the entire country. But all of Gauteng want to come here to the head office. So we're going to start offering twice the amount of XP if you watch the live stream from home. You can stay in bed, keep your slippers on, invite some guests to get into the bed with you, serve hot chocolate, and we will give our wealth engineers double the amount of XP on Saturday mornings if you stay at home and watch the live stream, just to alleviate the volume that we have coming in on Saturdays. So let me explain the XP Rewards program. When you become a wealth engineer and you start engaging in normal activity here as a wealth engineer, like coming to presentations, bringing guests, watching the live stream, doing training, we give you this thing called XP. You see there? XP. It's just points. It has no monetary value, right? It just indicates to us how active you are as a wealth engineer. And you start collecting more and more of this XP, and your business starts to grow. The products in your channel start to grow. They get bigger and bigger. And when those 2 things happen, we start rewarding you along the way, right? So here's the rewards table. If you join this morning, you will be a rank 0 wealth engineer. You're still part of the 0+0 club. But very quickly, within 24 hours, so you can make it your goal this weekend to get to rank 1 by Monday. It's very possible because you only need 1,000 XP and you only need 4 products in your qualified channel. And when you do those 2 things, I'll be paying you a return, but in the rewards program, I give you a 55 Rand reward at the end of the month to say, well done on getting to rank 1. You know the system works. If you can get to rank 1, you can get to all the other ranks. And you keep going. And the bigger your channel gets and the more XP you acquire, the rewards get bigger. 100 Rand, 400 Rand, 1,500, 20, 50,000 Rand, right? We give away tools too that help you be more effective in this business. We've got a little memory stick that we give to our rank 5s, 64 gig USB 3 little device that plugs into phones, tablets, TVs, laptops, computers. It plugs into everything. More importantly, we've got our video collateral on there. So you can show anyone the DuePoint presentation on any device at any time of the day, regardless of where you are, right? Tools to make you effective. At rank 7, we give you these rank 7 business cards. 12,500 Rand to get one set manufactured for our wealth engineers. These things are like gold. Go look at them. They're in the merchandise cabinet. Are some of the wealth engineers that are beyond rank 7 if you can just touch their business cards? Because people haven't heard of DuePoint. If I come up to a stranger in the street or an acquaintance and say, listen, there's an awesome business opportunities with a company called DuePoint, they're going to be like, one of those. When you flash them a business card that's about 50 times more valuable than the business card their boss got printed for them, I promise you they will give you a little more credibility, a little more time to explain what DuePoint does. Because in my 20 years, I've never seen business cards like this on anyone. There's no one prepared to spend this much money on business cards. At rank 9, this one everyone gets excited about. Because this is not a once-off reward. This is a recurring reward. When you get to rank 9 or above, you get to enjoy this international conference we have every single year. Every single year. Business class flights for you and your family to a 5-star luxury resort, 7 days away, all expenses paid trip by DuePoint. Every year. Think about that again. Every year. We've had an individual get to rank 9 in 5 months. We've already got 4 families qualified for December's rank 9 trip. Take a look at where we're going. This is where we're going. This is not just flashy pictures. Picture yourself.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Do you recognize the place? It's Mauritius, right? Go Google the Western Turtle Bay Hotel. We do things properly here at DuePoint, and you can be there with your family. At rank 11, did everyone notice what's in the parking lot this morning? We buy a car cash at rank 11 and give it to you. Special car. Something special about this car. It doesn't have a debit order at the end of the month. Right? Fairly novel. So after the presentation, we're going to go outside for 5 minutes, and you're going to see the first wealth engineers receive the first rank 11 car. And they've done it in the space of 14 months. Accountability lies with the wealth engineer. We have wealth quests. So this is another benefit for our wealth engineers. We run a wealth quest every month. It's a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers. It changes every single month. The reward is different every single month. This month's wealth quest is called You're in the Army Now. And it says if you're able to rank up within the XP Rewards program before the end of June, we'll give you 60 gigs of data. Nothing we give away. There's no giveaways. You earn it. Nothing you earn at DuePoint is ever just for fun. These are always tools to help you be more effective in your business. This is very much a data-driven business. 60 gigs, 10 gigs a month for the next 6 months will go far in helping you increase the size of your channel of distribution. Okay, so this is something that happens every month. Go check it out. It's on the website. This is the slide that basically explains our business model here at DuePoint. Some people ask, geez, you say I'm spending way too much money on the wealth engineers. This slide illustrates our business model from that point of view. Traditional business, they will spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising. We get bombarded by advertising every single day, right? DuePoint doesn't do any advertising. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this building because we don't spend a cent on marketing or advertising. We rely on our wealth engineers, on you guys, through the word of mouth, just to tell other people about what DuePoint's all about. So instead of spending the billions that the insurance industry spends on client acquisition through marketing and advertising, we are able to take that portion of our premium and attribute it towards our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards and wealth quests. Okay, so it basically illustrates the slide. You might be thinking, this guy's been going on for nearly an hour and he hasn't spoken about products. This business is not about selling, right? I'm talking about the business opportunity. You're going to do the same thing. But I'm going to go over the products very quickly. We've got 3 products, different benefits on each product. You're free to look at one or all 3 products. The first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product, 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. That sits with Sanlam. It's in your name. It's not a fixed or notice deposit. So you can draw that investment out at any stage. It takes about 72 hours to process. Okay? On top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover with this investment. So this is the investment product, product number 1. Product number 2 is an insurance product only. It is called Wealth Guard. It is 274 Rand a month, but this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of our personal accident cover product is that it's accessible to anyone over the age of 18, regardless of your health status, because we don't profile you from a health risk point of view. So you can be 70 and diabetic, 80, have cancer. You can still take out this product. It still will only cost you 274 Rand, and you'll still get the full benefit of 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. Okay? Product number 3, Wealth Points. The Wealth Points Buyers Club product. This product aims to save us money on the money that we're spending every single month anyway, right? How much money are we spending on groceries every month? You can save money on your groceries through this program. It's 274 Rand a month, and you get to engage with this list of suppliers that we've had. We've gone to these companies and negotiated discounts for our Wealth Points members. Okay, so there we have ShopRite Checkers. You get 2.5% off your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers. We've got Eagle Ford, right? The discounts are different with every supplier. So we've got a whole bunch of retail suppliers. We've got the Entertainer, which is a great little app that runs on your smartphone where you get 1.2 million rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers. And that goes across restaurants around the country, hotels around the world, live events. They've got everything on that app. You can go across the road. They've got a restaurant here called Juniper's. Go order a fillet steak. I think the fillet steak there's 170 rand. They'll give you the second one for free. So if you go there, you tell your wife or husband, you're having the fillet steak. We're going to make the 170 back today. Right? 1.2 million rands worth of savings there. So if you want immediate benefit out of any of the products, this is an awesome product to have. That Wealth Quest, where we're giving away 60 gigs of data, that's a new supplier that we've signed on to the Wealth Points program. That'll come live in the next couple of weeks. We have negotiated rates, data rates, to a third of their cost. That's 67% discount on data rates, which we'll be offering our Wealth Points members through this program. Awesome product. That's the products. If you have any questions on the products, come speak to me and the other staff here this morning. We'll answer any of your questions there. I remind you of the support that you get here as wealth engineers. Remember when I introduced you to the team, I said our mandate was to support our wealth engineers. Everything that we do in this business is to support you guys. So do not become wealth engineers and think you know what you're doing and you're going to do it better than everyone else and you disappear. Lean into the support. Press into the support that we have here. Like I said, we live stream out to the entire country all the time. The facilities are for you to use. We've got many wealth engineers come and have meetings here in our boardrooms. They drink lots of the tea and coffee. We've got free Wi-Fi. You can update your apps, do whatever. Come get involved. Be seen. This is a very social business. If you're not a very sociable person, you're going to learn to be sociable in this business, right? So lean into that support. And here we have the big orange slide. Do you remember what the decision was we're going to make? How is DuePoint going to fit into your life? Is it just going to be another New Year's resolution, another hope, a whim that you have? Or are you going to actively pursue the success that DuePoint offers you? Are you going to say to yourself, my Sundays is now for DuePoint. Saturdays is now for DuePoint. Every evening in the week, I'm giving an hour every day to DuePoint. Or maybe it's only Tuesdays and Thursdays. We all have different ambitions. If you want to get to rank 11 in 12 months, you are going to be spending lots of time in DuePoint. But if you're happy with just getting 2,500 rand every month to help you with your debt, and that's all you need to do, that's perfectly fine too. Either way, you have to decide how it fits into your life. Because I promise you, if you don't do that, and I know this, I've seen it, if you don't do that, it's just going to fall to the wayside. And then you'll lie and tell people, I know that system doesn't work. Get involved, guys. Make sure you've got a big enough reason to get you here. Right? It's like gym. If you don't have a gym partner and you don't have that picture on the wall of that good-looking person on the beach, it's hard to get to gym, especially in winter. So winter now, everyone gets lazy in winter, right? The sun's coming up late, it's going down early. It's a difficult period of the year to do anything. Make winter count for you. By the end of winter, be that person that's on 2,500 rand a month or 5,000 rand a month. It's going to make a massive difference. Pay your debt off as quickly as possible. Imagine where you're going to be for retirement. Because statistically, this entire room is going to be in a position when they reach retirement that you're going to regret. You're going to regret it. I see it in family and friends around me. No one is special. My wife's a labor lawyer. She retrenches people earning from 5,000 rand a month up to people earning 200,000 rand a month. People at head office with her, doctors, geologists, accountants. We're all in the same economic environment. There's no escaping it. The only way to escape it is to create the supplementary income for yourself. You've got to do it for yourself and your family and your kids. And your spouse is probably not going to support you. Let me just warn you. And your friends are going to say to you, oh, you're part of one of those schemes. I'm not interested. Let me warn you now. You're going to practice on your friends, right? Because they're going to be the nastiest to you when you say to them, come earn money. I found a great opportunity. It's the strangers that are going to make a fortune for you. Just a little warning up front. We make joining very easy. As I said, you can become a wealth engineer in about 7 minutes. We've got iPads, we've got the free Wi-Fi. If you've got your own tablet with you or smartphone, jump onto the website, www.DuePoint.net. Click on the big blue apply button. 7 minutes to go through the application. You become a wealth engineer. We'll SMS you a unique wealth engineer number. That's yours. We'll email you everything as well. You can start phoning those first 5 people today. Rank 1 by Monday. You're going to be one of the few wealth engineers that are earning in this business, that are already making a success out of it. And if you can get to rank 1, if you can get excited about rank 1, then you're allowed to get excited by rank 2. But you're not allowed to get excited by rank 9 until you rank 8. But if you can get to rank 1, I promise you, the behavior is not very different to getting to rank 9. If you can get to rank 1, you can get all the way up. We've got up to rank 28. 28. The stuff I showed you is just the beginning. We are just warming up in this business. When we talk long term, we're talking about the next 20 to 30 years with this business. We're going to become family. You're going to have Mlungu in the family. Don't be embarrassed. Okay, we've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. Please consider getting merchandise. If you want to behave like a professional, at least consider having business cards, right? I could not imagine someone coming to me with a business proposition without business cards. Look at the business cards. They're on offer in the merchandise. The pricing's on the counter. We've got a power block here for the people that cell phones die too soon. The USB stick's very convenient for a lot of us because the video collateral's all on there. Our intro presentations, training, everything's on there. You can give it to people instead of expecting them to download data. Those pins, you see a pin on any of those wealth engineers, it means they're earning money at DuePoint, right? Go ask them questions. Don't ask the people without the pins. If you become one of those wealth engineers that start earning money, please get a pin. Please get a pin. It's all about credibility and recognition in this business. It's a very social business. And there's a couple of other pieces of merchandise. Just a notice, the wealth engineers, you have to start booking online when you come to events. So to presentations like this, you've got to go onto the app or to the website, click on the event, click register. It takes you through to the Eventbrite website. Fill out your name and your guests' names because the security is going to start asking you for your name and they're going to tick you off the register, right? We've got these strangers that are now wandering into our business premises and we don't know who they are. So our security is tightening up a little bit. So please make sure that you're registering yourself on the Eventbrite system. I remind you we have a YouTube channel. All our video that gets produced is on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time there's a new live feed going out or a new video that's been uploaded. And once you become a wealth engineer, download the mobile app. It allows you to run your business from your smartphone. It is an awesome app. It tells you everything that's happening in your business in real time. Get the app. It's going to work and do wonders for you. And that's it, guys. We're now going to go outside and I'm going to show you someone getting a car that doesn't have a debit order at the end of the month. It's available to everybody. Right? So let's make our way outside and it's going to be an exciting 5 minutes. Thank you for your time, guys.